So welcome everyone to the Women's Health Loddon Mallee AGM. My name, for those of you that don't know me, is Dr. Skye Kinder, and I'm the current chair of the board for Women's Health Loddon Mallee. And we do online have a number of our board members with us, and of course our new CEO, Kelly Dunn, who you'll hear from soon. And we also have our fabulous Auslan interpreter, also named Kelly, just to keep it super simple. But before, we get into all of that, I'd just like to say it's really wonderful to see so many of you here in support of the work that this really important organisation does, and as an extension of that, in support of a much more gender equal world for women and girls. So to start with, I'll just note 3 apologies that we've received. The first one's from Mandy Hutchinson. We've also received an apology from Marie Edwards and one from Tricia Curry. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we meet today, and take a moment to celebrate the unique cultural and spiritual relationship that Aboriginal peoples share with this country, and in particular the healing practices and traditions that they hold, which have actually been integral to the women's health of our region for tens of thousands of years. And I'd also like to explicitly acknowledge that Aboriginal sovereignty was never ceded, and this always was and always will be Aboriginal land. So with that in mind, we'll move to the first formality of the evening, which is the acceptance of the minutes of the previous annual general meeting held on the 9th of November 2023. And I wonder if anyone would be happy to, I'm happy to move that those minutes are correct. Would anyone be happy to second that those minutes are correct? Oh, I saw a hand from Githme. Thanks, Githme, for not being shy. Much appreciated. So we'll move those minutes. So it brings me to the chair's report portion of the evening. It gives me great pleasure to be able to share my first ever chair's report with you all. I will take the report itself as read. I'm not going to reread that to you all now, but there are a few things from it that I did want to highlight, and just sort of reflect on with you all in this space that we have together. And the first is to acknowledge that it's been a year of great change for Women's Health Loddon Mallee. We did farewell our long-standing chair of the board, Julie Slater, and of course said farewell to our very long-standing, much-loved CEO, Tricia Curry, as well, both of whom are 2 women that have absolutely given enormous amounts of time, effort, and passion to this organisation, and have really left lasting legacies that we can only hope to build on and honour, as we move forward. But change, of course, is an important part of growth and development, and it's important for innovation, and frankly, it's actually important for effective disruption as well. And ultimately, that's what we're here to do, is to disrupt systems and processes that really don't serve the women and girls of our region. But by design, change is inherently very challenging because it's different. And one of the things that I'm very clear about, and that the board is very deliberate about, and I hope this is the message that came across in the report when you read it, is, that we're really aware of where this organisation has come from, its history, its legacy, and actually the change that it's already been through multiple times over to adapt, to advocate, to centre women's voices, and to achieve a much more gender equal world for women. And so while we are going to continue to embrace change, we're very committed to embracing the change as part of the forward momentum of this organisation, because ultimately the women and girls of our region deserve the very best from us, and change is how we're going to achieve that. We remain committed to a core sense of what it means to be Women's Health Loddon Mallee. And I hope that you can feel reassured about the direction that we take as we move into strategic planning next year. The other acknowledgement that I just wanted to make is to the people of this organisation. So, firstly to the board, who have actually put in enormous numbers of volunteer hours over the last year. It's been an extremely busy year for us, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your time and expertise. And also do a special farewell to Sandra Wilson, who will be stepping down from the board today in pursuit of some other wonderful and very complementary opportunities within the region. And I'm sure that, Sandra, you will remain a friend of the organisation going forward. And secondly, and perhaps more importantly, I do want to acknowledge the staff, each and every one of you, but I would certainly be remiss not to mention Belinda Buck by name, who stepped into the role of acting CEO for some months this year and really helped to keep a steady ship during a time of great transition. Each and every one of you do amazing work, and I genuinely believe that you are experts in your field. And your trust in us as a board and your commitment to the organisation as a whole hasn't gone unnoticed through this process. So, thank you very much for allowing us to do what we needed to do at a governance level and continuing to deliver for the women of the Loddon Mallee. So, with all of that said, I'd love to hand over to our CEO, Kelly Dunn, for a CEO welcome.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Sky. And it is such a privilege to be sitting here as I've got a little bit of history to share after I delved into our archives today, literally, not metaphorically, literally. So I'd like to start my incoming CEO's report by just saying how privileged I feel to step into Women's Health Loddon Mallee as the 10th leader, where we begin our journey, or where we began our journey as an organisation in 1989 with Deborah Wardell as the coordinator. Dal Coultis followed Deb, and then Georgie Richmond continued the legacy under what was then a new manager title. We had Wendy Mason, who followed, and then in 2000, we had Julie Pivendale, who became the first executive officer, followed by Kathleen Farrelly, Jennifer Alden, and Liz Beilharz. I hope I've said her name correctly, who I believe, through my very limited research, remained in the executive role for 10 years. Now, this is where our outgoing CEO, Tricia, began her journey as an executive manager and then CEO in 2016 and 17 until 2024. And when I looked at the annual report for the 2016-2017 period, I could read the amazing visions that Tricia had. And she shared a quote in her first executive officer report that said, "Once you have seen, you cannot unsee." And this was by Well Lang Kwok. I just thought that was a really wonderful experience, feeling the legacy of the women that had come before me as leaders and as visionaries and as doers in this space. The organisation looked like it started with 4 people at the helm, and today we have 17. And again, I think it's a testament to the growth of the vision and growth of purpose and clearly passion that people bring with them when they join as a stakeholder in the organisation, whether that's as a team member, a board member, a member, or a supporter of our incredible organisation. I wanted to also acknowledge and share some of Tricia's outgoing reflections, and I, like Sky, will assume that you'll have the ability to read that report if you haven't already. But there was a couple of things I just wanted to pull out from there. Then this was her last CEO report. She started with, "Have you ever wondered how some organisations seem to be great? Great to work with, great people, great impact, and great culture." When you're part of a great organisation, you know that this doesn't happen in one big gesture. It comes from focusing on consistent, incremental improvements, building a momentum that drives lasting, positive change and remarkable results. It comes from having great people skilled and values driven, wanting to work together towards a shared purpose. It also comes from curiosity and an appetite for learning. This reflects the wonderful Women's Health Loddon Mallee team, who are always taking theory into practice to enable workplaces, communities, partnerships to better understand how we can enact change to be fairer and more equipped to improve the health and well-being of women and girls in the Loddon Mallee region. She also noted that Women's Health Loddon Mallee is a benchmark health promoting organisation, centering women's voices, giving stewardship to the stories, and deeply listening and seeking evidence. So structural change creates opportunities for women for better access to health services and the information that they need to make choices. I thought that was just really poignant for mentioning tonight. And when I applied for the role with very deep consideration about the responsibility and accountability of a CEO as part of women's health services, it really dawned on me that my two top values were collaboration and fairness. And when I read Trisha's report, I went, "Oh wow, yes, this is for me. This is absolutely an organisation that I can authentically show up in and work alongside people who have shared vision." Trisha finished off with a Brene Brown quote, and most of us love Brene Brown. And the quote was, "Stay awkward, brave, and kind." So I would like to continue the challenge that she set in that quote via Brene's words. So we need to be awkward, brave, and kind to keep continuing to do this work. And we're never going to be always the right organisation for all the people all the time. We may get some of our conversations uh, to be at the forefront of what we do, but they might not reach the audiences that we intend them to. So that's why being brave and being kind is so critical to the work. In my 12 days that I've been in the CEO role, I have been privileged enough to sit in many different stakeholder groups, and one today with Safe and Equal just really iterated the importance of the research and of the academic ability for us to be able to prove best practice standards in what we do. This work today that was shared was working around masculinity and working with men and boys and people who identify as male, and how we need to embrace the vision of working together across diverse genders to help eliminate violence that's gendered in our communities, to create fairer health access for all gender in across all of its diverse forms. And I feel like the activities that we've got coming up in the next iteration of 16 days of activism is going to be so important to help us continue the very brave conversations that we need to have in this space. And we will have them, and we will be brave, and we will be kind. The work of our new strategic plan requiring consultation and development so that we can continue to stay contemporary in guiding and inspiring, and also using our collective values of our passionate and dedicated team, board, and community of members and supporters, combined with lived expertise and sector leaders, will help us to continue to lead cultural and structural change to improve women's lives based on deep understanding of women's experiences and stories as part of women's health services. Some of that came from our purpose, our mission, and I feel like that is such a strong way to be able to start my tenure as a CEO. A special thank you as well to the Women's Health Loddon Mallee team and board, including the leadership of Belinda Buck with Sally Piston by her side, who helped prepare the organisation for the incoming CEO with such professionalism, thought and care. That came right from meeting the board for the very first time on the interview panel all the way through to today, where the team sent messages of support for the AGM and made sure that I had everything that I needed at my fingertips and I didn't stay locked in the archive cupboard. So that's the end of my report, but thank you so much for this opportunity, and I really hope to continue in the amazing legacy of the women that have come before me.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. And congratulations on your 12 days. And we look forward to many, many more of those as the year progresses and in 2025 and beyond. So with the CEO's welcome completed, we will move forward to the Treasurer's report now. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Treasurer of the Board, Githme.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Sky. Good afternoon, everyone. So now I would like to present the Treasurer's report for Women's Health Loddon Mallee for the year ending 2023-2024. Women's Health Loddon Mallee concluded the financial year ending 30th June 2024 by generating 2,340,694 revenue and total expenses of 2,395,873. So the income statement shows Women's Health Loddon Mallee's revenue and expenses, revealing a net deficit of 55,179. Balance sheet of 30th June 2024 remains robust with the cash reserves. The balance sheet shows the Women's Health Loddon Mallee's assets, liabilities, and equity as of 30th June 2024. Now it is time for the motion of the financial statements to be accepted. I would like to move the financial statements for the financial year ending 30th June 2024 and invite anyone who would like to second the financial statements to be accepted.
We don't have anyone pop a second into the chat, then I'm happy to second. Give me.
There are some hands up there, Melissa and Penny.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Penny. All right, our next item is to appointment of the auditor. So we have been conducting audit with AASB accounting, audit and accounting and audit solutions Bendigo. And we would like to, the board of Women's Health Loddon Mallee in particular, propose the appointment of RSD audit. Bendigo as the auditor for the 2024-2025 financial year. As the treasurer, after considering the criteria, I would like to move RSD as the auditor for next year, which is 2024-2025, and invite anyone in the AGM to second the motion. Do we have anyone?
You can see a hand from Melissa.
And Lisa.
Thanks, Melissa. That concluded the Treasurer's report and the appointment of auditor for Women's Health Loddon Mallee for the next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Githme, and thank you for all of your efforts as Treasurer over the past year. So with that, we'll move into the board appointments. So I will be pleased to welcome back Kelly Dunn, who will be stepping in as our returning officer.
Thank you, Sky. So we actually had, at the time, returning officer Tricia Curry receive nominations of office bearers, and now as the incoming returning officer, I can confirm that the number of nominations matched the number of vacancies and an election was not required. So as the returning officer, I declare that the following members are appointed for a 2-year period: Fiona Fawkes and Kate McIntosh. And the following member is appointed for a 12-month period, being Colleen Condliffe. We have outgoing board member, which Sky did mention, Sandra Wilson, who has been on the board for 2 terms and appointed in 2020, who will step down from the board this year. The board and the team at Women's Health Loddon Mallee recognise Sandra's involvement over the past 4 years, and thank you so much for your valuable contribution. We have a gift which has hopefully arrived for you as a small gesture of our appreciation.
Thanks, Kelly, and congratulations to Fiona, Kate, and Colleen. Colleen, of course, a special recognition to Colleen, who is our longest-serving board member and was absolutely fundamental, in fact, to Women's Health Loddon Mallee becoming the organisation that it is today. So just want to take the time to recognise Colleen's ongoing service after many years of service to date. So with that, I'm going to hand over to our very own Belinda Buck, who has a video presentation, I believe, sharing some of the work of Women's Health Loddon Mallee over the past 12 months.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name's Belinda Buck, and I'm the Director of Strategy, Programs and Partnerships here at Women's Health Loddon Mallee. and it's my pleasure to speak to you all today and reflect on what's been a really remarkable and impactful year in our prevention and health promotion work right across the Loddon Mallee region, which covers 10 local government areas and keeps us very busy. But before we do dive into a video showcasing some of those highlights over the past 12 months, I'm wanting to share some exciting news. Recently, our Women Rising project won the Victorian Resilient Australia Community Category Award and then was nominated finalist in the Resilient Australia National Awards. The ceremony was held yesterday, and out of 28 finalists, we received a highly commended recognition for that work, which is just really wonderful news and a testament to the dedication and hard work of everyone involved. And I just wanted to, in particular, do a big shout out to Karen, Nicole and Azzy, who have been really instrumental in that work over the past few years. Additionally, I'm also excited to announce that for the first time, our annual report is available online this year. And some may be wondering why we've gone online, and there was a few important considerations in mind when we did decide that. One was around accessibility. So our website was not long ago updated, and it now features accessibility plugins to ensure that people with sight impairments or reading difficulties can have access to all elements on our site. And by producing the report entirely online, we've been able to cut back on costs for engaging external contractors for design and printing and things like that. And also that allows the carbon footprint by avoiding the need to print big booklets, whilst you still do have the opportunity to be able to PDF and print it as well. And another additional benefit, which we weren't sure whether it would be the case, but it has actually enabled us to reduce that staff hours that were spent on producing the report compared to previous years. So we will have a little survey at the end of the session. We would appreciate to give feedback on what that looks like and what that experience is for you, to see whether that's something we continue to do. But so far, we think it's been pretty fab, so which is really great. And I guess the other thing I just wanted to touch on was that during that development of the annual report, we actually get that opportunity to reflect on the work that we've done over the past 12 years. And every year it's just so surprising to see how much our small but mighty team produces over those 12 months. And yeah, this year, once again, we've made significant strides across our 5 priority areas, including things around strategy and project development. We've been able to contribute to the women's painting inquiry submission, which was a really important piece of work. We've supported defined entities across our region to undertake their Gender Equality Act work. We've worked with sporting clubs to develop gender equality action plans. We've delivered community education in topics related to mental health and wellbeing and sexual reproductive health, and then building that workforce capacity to be able to work in gender-based violence prevention. And then the list just goes on and on. And we know that these efforts, not only help enhance the health and wellbeing of our communities across the Loddon Mallee, but they also set that strong foundation for future initiatives and work to take place. And none of this work can be done without the help of our partner organisations. So I just wanted to do a quick shout out and a thank you for all those partner organisations who support and collaborate with us. That is just invaluable to the work that we do across the region. And I wanted to also do a thank you to the amazing board, and as well as our incredible staff that we have here at Women's Health Loddon Mallee. It's such an amazing place to work, and the hard work and commitment that you have in this important work helps us to be able to achieve our goals. So I wanted to thank everyone for that support and dedication, and know that together we're making the difference in improving the health and wellbeing of women and girls in our region. So enough said from me. I'd now like to invite you all to watch and enjoy this wonderful video that's been made by Tina and Corinne from the comms team, which really captures the essence of the achievements and the positive impact that we've made across the region. So please enjoy.
Thank you, Belinda. I hope that everybody enjoyed that video. I thought it was beautiful and poignant. And, again, to the point that you made, Belinda highlights how much work this team actually does, in 12 months. And that wouldn't even be all of it. You can see a lot more of it on the website as part of the online annual report. But, even what was presented is meaningfully impacting literally hundreds of people within our region and contributing to that systemic change that we are also desperately wanting to continue. So our final formal piece of business before we do close, and we've been very efficient with time this afternoon on this beautiful sunny Thursday, is any other matters that are brought to the meeting as notified in accordance with the Constitution or required by the standard condition of funding. And we have not received any other matters at this moment, so there isn't anything to discuss on that point. So before we finish, I just wanted to offer one final reflection as a close, which is, I imagine that we are all here today, staff, board and members, because, we have seen, similar to Kelly and Kelly's reflection of Trisha's quote, once you see, you can't unsee. We've all seen the discrimination, violence and systemic barriers that women and girls in our region continue to face. And we, I'm sure, all share a fundamental belief that that's wrong. And the quote that I have included in my chair's report by Virginia Woolf, which is, so long as you write what you wish to write, that's all that matters. And whether it matters for ages or only for hours, nobody can say. And of course, her work has continued to matter throughout the test of time. I think is really important because it encourages us to embrace that theme of bravery that we've also heard a lot about. There is a global trend sociopolitically to the right at the moment. We are seeing women's rights be eroded in countries around the world, and women are experiencing conflict, in a variety of countries across the world right now. We're very fortunate in some ways in Australia to not have these sorts of issues as pressing on our shores at the moment. But of course, that is not something we can take for granted either. And so one of the most meaningful things I think that this organisation does is share the voices and write the things that people want to write, that deserve to be heard and deserve to be shared on behalf of women and girls. So thank you all for what it is that you do to support this organisation and this work. And I hope that we will continue to see each other, work together, collaborate, communicate in 2025. So I'll call this AGM to a close.